top 10 basketball players of all time. From the slam dunks to the layups, the ankle-breaking handles to the stunning game-winning buzzer beaters, the NBA has given us some of the most mind-blowing plays from the most talented players in all of sports. They are the greatest to ever play the game, players who've defined eras and determined the trajectory of the NBA as we know it today. Simply put, the NBA won't be what it is without them. And so in this video, we'll be paying homage to them, the best to ever do it on the courts of the NBA. Here are the top 10 basketball players of all time. Number 10. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a complete freak of nature. Standing at 7 feet 2 inches, he was a lanky giant who towered above everyone that played on the court with him. According to legendary NBA coach Pat Riley and NBA Hall of Famers Isaiah Thomas and Julius Erving, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest basketball player of all time. While that opinion is up for debate, there are so many facts that work in his favor. Kareem dominated the game at every level of basketball, from high school to college basketball, and most notably in the NBA. After dominating college basketball, winning 3 consecutive national titles in a row at UCLA, Kareem was drafted into the NBA by the Milwaukee Bucks as the first overall pick in the 1969 draft. He would spend 6 years with the Bucks, leading them to their first title in 1971. In 1975, he joined the Los Angeles Lakers, where he played his last 14 years in the NBA, being a key part of the Showtime era. With the Lakers, he would win more rings in 1980, 1982, 1985, 87, and 1988. Kareem's signature skyhook shot was one of the most unguardable moves in the NBA. It was his most potent weapon, and with it, he would launch himself to the top of the NBA all-time scoring charts with 38,387 points scored, a record that still stands today. He also remains the all-time leader in field goals made and career wins. His NBA resume makes for some remarkable reading. He was a 6-time NBA champion, a 2-time NBA Finals MVP, 6-time regular season NBA MVP, a 19-time NBA All-Star, and a 2-time NBA scoring champion. Kareem ended his 20-year NBA career with an impressive stat line of 24.6 points per game, 11.2 rebounds per game, and 3.6 assists per game. Number 9. Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was such a showstopper that the name Magic practically became adopted as his first name. Named Earl Johnson Jr. at birth, Magic Johnson is regarded by many as the best point guard of all time. Steph Curry might have something to say about that now, but even Curry doesn't come close to Magic when it comes to his sheer passing ability and basketball IQ. Magic saw things on the court that others simply could not see. Selected first overall by the Lakers in the 1979 NBA draft, Magic did the unimaginable, clinching the NBA Finals MVP in his rookie season as the Lakers won the title in 1980. He would go on to win 5 more rings with the Lakers and get himself 2 more Finals MVP awards in 1982 and in 1987. Together with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson terrorized the NBA with his precision passing and flair, redefining the role of the point guard in the NBA. Magic remains the NBA's all-time leader in assists at 11.2 assists per game. He also turned in 19.5 points per game and 7.2 rebounds per game. A member of the 1992 Dream Team, Magic added 5 NBA titles to his resume, 3 regular season NBA MVPs, 2 NBA All-Star Game MVPs, 12 NBA All-Star appearances, and 9 All-NBA first-team appearances. He also led the league in assists 4 times and led the league in steals twice. To seal his status as one of the greatest to play the game, Magic is a 2-time Hall of Fame inductee, first as an individual player and secondly with the 1992 USA Dream Team. Number 8. Larry Bird. Bird is regarded by many as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. In his day, he was the best shooter in the game, and his 3-time NBA three-point contest victories is a testament to that. In an era when teams largely ignored the three-point line, Bird took the courage to make the three-point shot his own, terrorizing teams on his way to 3 NBA titles with the Boston Celtics. Throughout his career, Bird shined both on the court and on the touchlines. He remains the only person in history to be named Rookie of the Year, Regular Season MVP, NBA Finals MVP, All-Star MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year, the last two awards coming with time at the Indiana Pacers. Larry Bird finished his career with 24.3 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 6.3 assists per game. He was a 3-time champion, a 2-time Finals MVP, a 3-time regular season MVP, and a 12-time NBA All-Star. Number 7. Tim Duncan. Also known as the Big Fundamental, Tim Duncan was not the flashy player who did show-stopping dunks and fancy passes. Instead, he was the kind of player who led his team by example and hardly ever put a foot wrong, hence the nickname the Big Fundamental. But make no mistake, Duncan was very good at his game. It's no wonder he's widely regarded as the greatest power forward of all time. Duncan spent his entire 19-year career playing for the San Antonio Spurs, the team that drafted him first overall in the 1997 NBA Draft. Duncan repaid the faith the Spurs had in him by staying loyal to the franchise and delivering 5 NBA titles across 3 decades in 1999, 2003, 2005, 2007, and 2014. In addition to that, he was a 3-time NBA Finals MVP, a 2-time NBA regular season MVP, a 15-time NBA All-Star, while making 8 NBA All-Defensive First-Team appearances. He remains the only player to be selected for both the All-Defensive teams and All-NBA teams for 13 consecutive seasons. That's just how good this dude was. Duncan finished his career with a stat line of 19 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game. Number 6. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq was simply the most dominant player to ever touch a basketball besides only Wilt Chamberlain. This dude was a 7-foot 1-inch 325-pound freak of nature who simply bullied everyone around him. He's regarded by many as one of the greatest centers of all time. Along with Kobe Bryant, Shaq terrorized the entire NBA as the Los Angeles Lakers romped to a three-peat from 2000 to 2002. Within that time, Shaq also claimed 3 Finals MVPs and 1 regular season NBA MVP. He also won 2 NBA scoring titles, one with his first team, the Orlando Magic, in 1995, and the second with the Lakers in 2000. Following a rocky relationship with Kobe Bryant, Shaq was traded to the Miami Heat, where he won his 4th NBA title alongside Dwayne Wade. Shaq is one of only 3 players to ever win the NBA season MVP, All-Star Game MVP, and Finals MVP in the same year, a feat he accomplished in 2000. The other players to do this are Willis Reed and Micheal Jordan. Number 5. Bill Russell. For some people, the argument over who the greatest basketball player of all time is stops at Bill Russell's feet. The reason? It's because he holds the record for the most rings ever won by a player, 11. He doesn't even have enough fingers to wear all his rings. However, the argument about the greatest basketball player of all time is more than just the number of rings a player has won. Russell played as the center for the Boston Celtics for 13 years. Throughout his playing career, he was known for his unmatched defensive and rebounding abilities. He led the NBA in rebounds 4 times and is the second player on the list of all-time rebounds and rebounds per game, with 21,620 rebounds and 22.5 rebounds per game. He also recorded 15.1 points per game and 4.3 assists per game. Russell was a 5-time regular season NBA MVP, a 12-time All-Star, and a 3-time All-NBA First Team member. Number 4. Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain is regarded by many as not just one of the greatest basketball players ever, but also one of the greatest players in sports history. Wilt was the definition of a player who absolutely dominated his sport. He was so dominant that he once scored 100 points in a single game, a long-standing NBA record that is not likely to ever be broken. Wilt averaged more than 40 and 50 points in several seasons. He remains the only player in the history of the NBA to average at least 30 points and 20 rebounds per game in a season, a feat he accomplished 7 times. If that's already mind-boggling, then check out his career stat line. Wilt has a career average of 30.1 points per game and 22.9 rebounds per game. But despite his dominance, Wilt suffered a string of NBA Finals losses, winning only 2 titles later in his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. He also clinched an NBA Finals MVP and 4 regular season NBA MVPs while making 13 NBA All-Star appearances. Wilt led the league in scoring 7 times and was the NBA rebounding champion 11 times. No one has ever been as dominant as Wilt was in the history of the game, and that is why he deserves the number 4 spot on this list. Number 3. LeBron James. This might come as a surprise to some because when it comes to the GOAT argument in basketball, most times 2 names dominate this argument: LeBron James and Micheal Jordan. No doubt LeBron is easily one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He has a basketball IQ that is simply unrivaled. LeBron has played in the league for 17 seasons, and he's been in discussion as the best player in the league virtually every single season. He holds the record for all-time playoff points, he's 3rd on the list of all-time points scored, and is 8th in all-time assists. LeBron is the only player to have the NBA title with 3 separate franchises: the Miami Heat, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Los Angeles Lakers. In all, he's won 4 NBA titles, 2 with the Heat and 1 with the Cavs and the Lakers. A testament to LeBron's dominance over the years is that he's appeared in 10 NBA Finals throughout his entire career, and 8 of them happened consecutively. The fact that he's only won 4 of those 10 finals is the reason he's in 3rd place on our list and not higher up. Number 2. Kobe Bryant. In his day, the Black Mamba was simply unguardable. Kobe was obsessed with the game. He modeled his game after Micheal Jordan, and like his hero, he also pulled off a three-peat with his team, the Los Angeles Lakers, between 2000 and 2002. During that time, Kobe formed an unstoppable partnership with Shaquille O'Neal. After Shaq departed from the Lakers, Kobe won 2 more titles with the Lakers in 2009 and 2010, taking his total tally to 5. In those last 2 finals, he also clinched the Finals MVP awards. Kobe was a stone-cold sniper with the ball, and on one occasion, he scored a career-high 81 points, placing him behind Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game on the list of highest points ever scored in one single game. Kobe also led the league in scoring in the 2005-2006 and 2006-2007 seasons. He finished his career with 18 All-Star appearances, 1 regular season MVP, 4 NBA All-Star Game MVPs, 11 All-NBA First Team appearances, and 9 NBA All-Defensive Team appearances. Oh, and 2 Olympic gold medals too. Number 1. Micheal Jordan. Micheal Jordan is simply the greatest basketball player of all time and possibly across all sports. No player has had as much influence on a sport as Micheal had on basketball. He changed the way basketball was perceived around the world and became one of the most loved sportsmen of all time. As a player, Micheal defined the game of basketball on and off the court while spearheading the Chicago Bulls dynasty that recorded a double three-peat in the 90s. MJ never lost an NBA final as he holds a 6-0 record. In all his finals appearances, he was awarded Finals MVP. He was also a 5-time regular season MVP, a 10-time NBA scoring champion, and a 1-time Defensive Player of the Year. Micheal dominated on both ends of the court in stunning fashion. There has simply never been any basketball player like Micheal Jeffrey Jordan.